Ladies and gentlemen, a few weeks ago I was reading some articles on the homelessness that's going on out in California, and they said the problem is really getting out of hand. And one thing that is happening in America is more and more people are living in their vehicles, and it's becoming the norm. Now, I would like to thank one of my subscribers, JG, for sending this article, June 12th, 2019 from Zero Hedge. I'm not surprised. America has a deep hatred for anybody that is struggling through life. They get angry at people that are poor, and they have the audacity to say, pull yourself up by the bootstraps, knowing damn well every damn thing has been handed to them, and they got a lot of nerve saying that to anybody. For real. So let's get into this article. Once again, tonight, countless numbers of Americans will sleep in their vehicles, and this is a problem that is getting worse with each passing year. According to the Department of Housing and Urban Development, the homelessness population in the United States hit 552,830. And you know what? I bet you that's a lowball number, y'all. That's one thing. Every number they put out is always way below what the actual number is. And that was the number for 2018. But many believe the true number is actually a lot higher. It's probably double or even triple that number. Because in order to accurately count the homeless, you got to find them first. And many homeless do not want to be found. Even if the HUD figure is accurate, it is still a great national tragedy. It sure is. It sure is. You claim you are the richest nation on earth and you got a high number of homelessness going on in your country. Damn, even Muammar Gaddafi did better than that. Do you know in Libya they did not have homeless people? If you had no place to go, the government would give you a home to live in. But America won't do that. They won't do that. They have a problem with that. So this is definitely a national problem. And I think it's dangerous for people to live in their vehicles because now they are open to being harmed. A survey that was conducted in the Seattle area last year found that the number of people living in their vehicles have risen 46% over the past 12 months. And according to a report that has been recently released, approximately 16,500 people are currently living in their vehicles in the city of Los Angeles. I read some of the articles on that over the past few weeks, and that is really sad what's going on in California. They said their homeless numbers are just exploding. That's a damn shame. So 2 years ago, Los Angeles began testing an alternative to homeless shelters. Yeah, because, many homeless people won't even go to those shelters because they get robbed, raped, and even killed in those shelters. They're really not safe. And they don't have anybody guarding those shelters. So it's open for anybody to go in there and do whatever they want to those homeless people. That's why many of them will tell you, I'd rather be on the streets than go in one of those shelters. I'll get killed in there. Okay, so what they're doing now is coming up with safe parking for these people that are living in their vehicles and giving them a secure spot to sleep in at night. The first site was quickly deemed as a success in Los Angeles, and they have expanded to 9 more lots in Los Angeles to give these folks a place where they can sleep. Earlier this year, before the release of new data showing more than 16,500 people living in their vehicles, the authority put out a request to providers across the country to help make good on that promise. So they're pretty much urging other states to do the same thing, to try to find, for these people living in their vehicles, find them a secure place where they can sleep. In fact, if you were to ask them if they were homeless, some of them would openly deny it. For example, 20-year-old Matthew Bodo was living in his vehicle for almost 2 years while attending a local college in California. And during that time, he strongly disagreed with calling himself homeless. Yeah, that's an embarrassing thing. You know, no one wants to be identified that way, even if it's true. So Matthew Bodo, 21, was homeless for nearly 2 years while attending Foothill College in the Northern California community of Los Altos Hill. He worked 14 hours as a valet for Tesla, parking employees' cars, but couldn't meet the requirement for many landlords that his monthly income total 3 times the monthly rent. Okay, so he has a job. He's what is called and referred to in America as the working poor. That's what he is. And there are many, in fact, too many out here, in my opinion. In fact, if you were to ask a lot of homeless people if they were homeless, they would openly deny it. Okay, and that is really the norm. Many people don't realize, but homelessness has become quite an epidemic among America's college students. A survey of nearly 86,000 students taken last fall by the Hope Center for College Community and Justice found homelessness affected 18% of respondents attending 2-year colleges and 14% of those attending 4-year institution. In the state of California alone, approximately 399,000 community college students reported some period of homelessness in the previous year. And 20% of them indicated that they had slept in their vehicles. So, what is California's state government doing to address the crisis? Well, giving people a parking space to sleep in at night, I mean, it's a step, but it definitely does not go far enough to help them. What homeless Americans really need is a permanent roof over their heads because it is exceedingly difficult to operate in our society without one. Homeless Americans are living in their vehicle often, do not count as being officially unemployed, and they often have a very difficult time receiving government benefits because they lack a permanent address. That is true. But there should still be a way to help these people. You know, not doing anything at all because there's no permanent address. I think the government should be able to do something where you can identify these people even if they don't have an address. And I'm serious, if they don't have an address, why not go by a social security number to be able to track them that way? There's got to be some kind of way. When someone is homeless, it really can seem like they have totally dropped off the map, and turning things around when you are totally out of resources can be exceedingly difficult thing to do. That's very true. That's very true. You got to understand many of these people have mental illness. Many of them are um, drug addicts and alcoholics. So, and they have a lot of physical problems too. So it's kind of hard to turn yourself around if you're homeless and you're battling a lot of other things on top of that. In addition to the growing number of Americans are living in their vehicles because they are out of options. The RV Industry Association says there are also now 1 million Americans living in their RVs full time. Yeah, well, some of those people are doing that um, because they're able to do it. They're able to travel across the country using an RV, and they just choose to live in there, but they have a permanent resident. Where others, they are doing it because they cannot get a home. In recent years, housing costs have risen far more rapidly than wages have, and this has forced an increasing number of Americans onto the streets. According to a report that came out earlier this year, the average American wage earner cannot afford to buy a home in more than 70% of the country. That's a damn shame. Even with rising wages and falling mortgage rates, Americans can't afford a home in more than 70% of the country. Out of 473 US counties analyzed in a report, 335 listed median home sales more than what the average wage earner can afford, according to a report. Among them are the counties that include Los Angeles and San Diego in California, as well as Miami-Dade County in Florida, Maricopa County in Arizona. Until things change, the number of Americans sleeping in their vehicle will continue to grow. Wow. And instead of trying to address the root issues, many of our lawmakers have decided that it is far easier to pass laws making it illegal to sleep in vehicles. Yeah, because politicians in this country are absolutely useless. They're only helpful to people that are wealthy. If you're not wealthy, they're not going to be that healthy. They're really not going to be that helpful to you. Okay, so how do you sleep at night if you knew you were taking away the only shelter that a family might have? We like to picture homeless people as disheveled older men, but the truth is that a significant percentage of the homeless in America today are families with children. Tonight, thousands upon thousands of American families will once again huddle in their vehicles and try to get some sleep. Many of them are desperately hoping for a brighter future, but the truth is that America is becoming colder and more heartless with each passing day. Ladies and gentlemen, that's because people are taught to be that way. They are. They're taught to be heartless and uncaring. And no one knows that better than us. But I think this is a damn shame. I did see a bunch of articles coming out over the past few months about how bad homelessness is becoming in America. You want to boast to the world that you're such a great nation and you have this problem that is completely unsolved. You're not doing anything about it. But then again, you can't even solve the drug problem, the suicides, the alcoholism. There's so many people dying today, and this country can't do anything about it. So if they can't resolve that, what makes you think they can resolve homelessness? They can't. And they won't do it at all. They won't do it. But please tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.